Hello. Hi, everybody. I don't know about this one, y'all. I don't know about this one. Well, we're back to another bad anime review. And remember, what do we say here? Is the anime bad? Yes. Is the review bad? Probably. Is it bad? Yes. Yes. All of the things are bad. Yeah, I wanted to buy myself like a nice soothing drink, like some boba or some fancy tea, but I didn't get a chance to go out today, and so instead I have water, and in virtual reality I have this cute little cappuccino. I mean, in real life, I don't drink coffee, but in the virtual life, if you give me a cappuccino with a little cat on it, I'll drink it. Oh, this anime. So I had a few options for the next one I was going to do, and this is not the one I had originally picked, but is the one that was the right choice, I think. So I had another one in mind, and I was literally about to watch the episode of that quite a few months ago. I think it was, yeah, even before Kami Arabi, or sorry, just moving around. Even before Kami Arabi or the God app one, I had already thought about like, oh, maybe I'll do this one. Right when I was going to watch it, I watched Kami Arabi instead. And at some point, I found out about a new anime that was coming out this season, and I decided that would be my choice instead. I think I decided that somewhere between when I watched Kami Arabi and when I did the video, because I know by the time I did the video, I already knew this. You may be saying to yourself, Galaxy, what anime are you gonna talk about this time? Because we just love all these anime recs that you're giving us. These are not anime recs. If you want actual anime recs, go to the good anime reviews. Those ones are much longer. The editing is more basic because those I just do the editing myself. I mean, I think it's fine. I think that one's me more yapping about something more serious. These are more painful and need the god touch of a good editor. So you can get through it and at least enjoy my pain. But anyway, okay. Which anime are we watching today? Well, as you know, I do watch a lot of isekais. Although this one ended up not being an isekai, it just kind of seems like one. But it's like it's a fantasy anime. I'm just going to show you the poster. Okay, I found it earlier. This is the poster with the English title. Hooray! Let me read the title. My gift, level 9999999 unlimited gacha. Backstabbed in a backwater dungeon. I'm out for revenge! And the guy in the middle is obviously the main character because he looks like a bootleg Kirihito. And in the background there, you got all your little waifus. I guess you could include the Gold Knight as a potential waifu. I don't even know anymore. Yeah, it's like, wow, it's a fantasy thing where the guy is overpowered, wearing all black, looking like he has main character syndrome, stupid haircut, nothing interesting about him, but he has all the power in the world and all these hot girls that are going to help him for absolutely no reason. That's what we're doing. Now, I also, in my studies, not really. So I was basically trying to find, like I said, the poster, and I was just curious. So I saw this one, and I saw the Japanese one, which I'm not going to post right now. If my editor's nice, they might show it to you because they have access to it. But the Japanese poster makes him look a lot more ominous. It has all the like gacha people in the background, but it doesn't spoil who they are. And they look like really intense. This one looks more like what it actually is, which is just like a harem anime. Although he does get kind of crazy sometimes. And then when I was looking at those two posters, I found one of the covers of the original light novel, because of course it's a light novel. Look, I really like light novels, but there's also a lot of trash over there. So I'm not going to show this to you probably. Again, if the editor feels like being nice, they might show you because they have access to this. But I basically found the cover for volume 10. And what I thought was interesting about this is I think this is the official cover. And if it is, it's interesting because I think the translation of the title is a more literal translation. So let me remind you what the anime title is. This will be relevant in a second. My gift, level 9999999, unlimited gacha, backstabbed in a backwater dungeon. I'm out for revenge. The one on the light novel, which has much worse font. Backstabbed in a backwater dungeon, my trusted companions tried to kill me, but thanks to the gift of an unlimited gacha, I got level 999999999 friends, and I am out for revenge on my former party members and the world. Oh, what? You didn't understand what I said? You forgot it already? Backstabbed. Episode 1 and 2, I saw back in October, episode 3 and 4 I saw like yesterday. So at least the other ones I'll be watching way closer to when I film the videos. Because at this point, I do remember overall what happened in the 2 episodes. And of course, I have notes. It's just that because I watched them a few months ago, I'm probably going to miss some of the details. Here are my notes. Episode 1. Wait, it's not an isekai. Yeah, so surprisingly, right at the beginning of episode 1, you see the main character say goodbye to his mom and dad and older sister and younger brother. MC is like, oh my god, cool, non-humans who are warriors and things. But then me sad anime human boy. I think this is because he was trying to connect other people around a guild, and the whole thing is he wanted to be a warrior or adventurer or something. That's why he left home. And so he was like, oh my god, now that I've left the countryside, I can see these non-humans. Hooray. His name, what do you think the name of this main character is? Joe? Steve? Jose? William? Hamilton? That's a throwback for those of you who saw the other one. No, his name is Light. That's right, his name is Light. Just like in Death Note. But it's not ironic like in Death Note. I think the author, probably a fanboy, was like, oh my god, my MC is like so cool. His name's gonna be Light, like the guy in Death Note, because he's just like amazing. He's not, he's a piece of shit. This idiot's power is literally called Gacha. Oh yeah, because that I do remember. Because it kind of sounded like he was talking and then in the middle of his sentences, it would just be like, blah, 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 Gacha. Well, to me, right? Because keep in mind, my Japanese skills are pretty limited, and I'm like, oh, your spell or main power is literally Gacha. So if I remember right, he was showing people in the guild how to use the power. Again, remember, this was a few months ago that I watched this. And what I put in my note is like, okay, this idiot's power is literally called Gacha. He pulls out a card and gets a fork. He also pulls out some rotten food. He has his apple that's all rotten and messed up. And it's like, wow, your Gacha ability is amazing. Because it literally is, I guess, whenever he pulls out a card, it can be anything for real. And maybe it's because his level is low, or who even knows. He just pulls out trash. Then he does basic ass jobs for the guild because his level or whatever is F. But then some non-humans bully him. Rawr. Because yeah, there's like this weird sentiment where, oh my god, humans kind of suck and all us non-humans are better, which, fair. But also they're bullying him for no reason. Then there's this elf woman, this blonde elf woman who seems to be really into him, and I was so confused because she looks like a grown-ass woman. Oh yeah, I didn't mention MC is like a child per usual. He looks like he's like 13 or something. And I wrote, this elf is into this literally pathetic human child. Cool. Oh, actually, never mind. Betrayal, Gaspu. He's banished from the party. But why? Because yeah, there was a bit of back and forth or something like that when I was watching this episode. I think that the non-human party because there was this non-human party that basically they brought him into their group. The elf girl seemed like she was into him and they were all being nice, but then in one of the dungeons they were like, you thought that we liked you? We don't like you. You suck. And then they betray him or something like that. Who cares? So then they were all selected 9 months ago to be the best at something was the goddess's gift. But they hate this pathetic human and his gacha gift sucks, so bye, loser. Because I think they were supposed to work with him. They were, again, look, limited Japanese. That's why I'm doing these. Oh yeah, if I didn't mention that before, I think I forgot. One of the reasons I'm doing this is not just to torture myself, but it's because I'm trying to get better at Japanese. So I'm watching them in Japanese with no subtitles and trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Should have said that in the intro. I didn't. Now you know. All right. Yeah, so it kind of seemed like they were all selected by the goddess, and there was a lot of talk about like either them being chosen ones or something like that. It did seem like he was also supposed to be a chosen one. Oh yeah, then they try to kill him and it's fucked up. But then he's like, I want to live, or I want to leave. I don't know. And I think he might have used a random English word. There's a reason why I was like, I don't know which word he's saying. And then there was like this teleportation power that he did when he was like crawling on the floor, almost dead or whatever. I was also confused because it wasn't clear how long he had spent with them. Like, did he just meet them and they took him to a backwater dungeon to murder him or what? Because then he starts having flashbacks when he's crawling around on the ground or whatever. It does seem like he knew them longer than I originally thought. He may have spent a lot longer with them based on the flashback. But basically, they continue to see him as trash, and their mysterious leader wanted him dead too. He swears to kill them, but a crazy high-level monster shows up. Oh my god. But super powered gacha that he pulls out summons a naked girl to save him. She's naked like in Sailor Moon when they transform, where it's like, oh, she's naked, but she has all these sparkly things or whatever. She's a maid slave dedicated to him. Sure. Why do all these power fantasies have women in positions of like slaves or servants, or in this case both, that have like big boobs and are sexy and love the main character and have no thoughts of their own? And she's a super ultra rare card from the gacha, level 99999. Wow. It's also funny because whenever he talks about the cards, those words are in English, so he'll literally say like super ultra rare whatever thing. It's like, okay, man. He angst going over how he was betrayed by his party and how he's a trash human and shit power and basically no one loves me and everyone hates me and I'm just a piece of crap. But then May, because the maid is named May the maid, that is her name, she's like, I'll take revenge and protect him. He won't be a weak human anymore. And then at the end of the episode, he's like, this is my story. Nobody cares, man. Didn't I have a note about... Am I thinking of the other crappy one? No, I think I found it. I don't know how I skipped this earlier. Okay. So there's this thing. I knew it was this anime. There's this thing with the names. And maybe it's because, like in many languages, if you use a different language for a name, you might think it sounds cool, even though in that language it sounds stupid. So in the same way that weebs will sometimes have a fake Japanese name here, sometimes in Japanese media, they'll have an English name and think it's cool, especially in isekais. So in this one, a lot of them have like the stupidest names in the world, especially the people in the party. For example, they have some basic ass names, like the name of that dragon, there's like a dragon guy. What's his name? Drago. The devil guy that looks like a devil person? Devil. Welcome to our party, human. So they all have stupid ass names. I don't know. Elves are probably like Elfu. That's episode 1. This is my story. Okay, episode 2. It's 3 years later. That's right. He has a mansion full of maids serving him who love him. But May, the first maid, May the maid, does not like that. Wait, also everyone in town, because now he has like this huge castle in this random town, and it does seem like it all belongs to him. So when he's walking around town, other people all call him Sama. What the fuck? He also still, even though I forgot about the 3-year skip. So even though it's been 3 years, he still looks the same. He looks like a tiny child. You'd think that between 13ish and 16 he'd look different, but he doesn't. Okay. Now they're giving exposition on all the super ultra rare cars, aka all the girls he pulled in the past few years. Reminder that the exposition dumps are really hard for me to follow. Okay, there's another like leather daddy in this one. Why is that also a thing lately? And the leather daddy is called Jack, but wait, he's helping him train. Oh wow, because I think at one point leather daddy Jack and what's his name again? Like, they both take off their shirts so they can look all muscular and I mean sexy to someone, I guess. And that's like part of this episode too, whatever. Then an interlude of the swordswoman being dumb and liking food and everyone's keeping her away from MC-kun. I don't know why. There's like this whole thing where she like loves him so much, but they're like, oh no, she must not interact with him. It kind of almost seems like it's either a joke or the other girls are jealous of her. But then there's a cat girl. I mean, I like cat girls, but goddamn. So this one, you can see her at the bottom on top of the title. See, she's like a cat-ish girl. I don't even think she's really a cat girl, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Whatever. She's the one on the bottom there that has little ears, but I can't tell yet if she has ears or not because she always wears that hood, I believe. But I think she does have like huge monsterish hands, whatever. So the cat girl, when she first shows up, she's just like, meow, meow, meow. And I'm like, does she not actually speak? Does she only speak in yas? No, at some point she starts actually talking in Japanese. Good. But then she's like, oh, I missed you, and rubs herself on his throne and breaks part of it because, okay. Then the maids get in trouble from May for not cleaning MC-kun's room well enough. What the fuck is this anime? It started with some stakes, as in like, it had like the party bullying him and the betrayal and things like that. But this whole episode really felt more like daily life with my maid girls in a fantasy world. The maids go on and on about nothing, and that's literally it. The only plot stuff is him seeing the same monster as before, the high level one that showed up at the end of episode 1, and being scared because he's like traumatized or whatever. And the girls defend him instantly, and then he acts like he's not scared and pets the monster. There's a lot of this shit where he'll have an actual feeling and be terrified and remember that he's a piece of shit. But then the girls will be like, oh no, we will save you. And he's like, yeah, I was strong all along. Like, okay, man, whatever. Okay. All right, episode 3. He's walking through the town again. Oh, because I thought it was the MC, but it's because they didn't show who it was at first. It's not though, it's some other dude. So when they just show the perspective of someone walking through town and all the people are love him and they're like, marry me, marry my sister, blah 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 sama. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Shut the fuck up. I did notice that they were all doggo non-humans, but I mean, I'm not trying to understand this anime. But then they show you that it's actually the dog wolf guy from the original party, and it's him either in the town he was from or the town he resides in, because it's clear that everyone knows him. He's been there for a long time. All the dogs are bullying humans for some reason. So all the dog people, every time they see humans around, they're shitty to them. I don't know why. The wolf guy is reminiscing about killing MC-kun and loving his job, even though that was 3 years ago, but May, the maid, shows up. She talks to the wolf guy and he's surprised that MC-kun is alive and a lord or maybe something. And then he's like, well, maybe it's someone just with the same name. I don't know. Maybe she's asking for help for finding him. I think that's what she was asking, but I'm not entirely sure. He's like, sure, because she has gold and thinks, well, if he really was a lord that he murdered, maybe this girl has gold I can kill. I'm not gonna go into it, but there's also how do I put this? I literally wrote, he takes her into the dungeon to, well, ... because even though it does seem like they want to kill her, they want to do other things first, which is also a trope, and it should not be a trope. She eventually reveals who she is, but only once they get into the dungeon. And he assumes that she's a spy for someone or other. I don't know who he named. He can't believe that she's MC-kun's maid. But then MC-kun appears. Gaspu. Wolf guy is like, what the fuck? But then taunts him for being a low level. Because he's kind of like, you're such a low level. You're so pathetic. I'm so high level. Why are you even coming here? He's also confused at the beginning. Like, why is he still alive? He's saying that he's gonna... What? Clearly this is a typo. I literally wrote, and we'll kill Jim soon. Sometimes my autocorrect is so bad. Whenever I write Japanese, either words or names, it'll autocorrect the things that don't make any sense. I think it's because I don't use Japanese enough in Romanji. You know what I mean?
Sure, Jan.
Sorry, I got distracted. So that's when I realized that his name basically sounds like grr or growl or roar, but in Japanese. So it's a wolf guy basically called Rar. Very threatening. They attack, but the maid murders them all. And MC-kun, I just don't want to call him Light, because I like Light from Death Note. MC-kun thanks the maid, and she's like, oh my god, he like loves me, and blushes. Wolf guy continues to insult him, even though she basically murdered. They went back and forth for a while, but she did eventually like cut them all up into pieces, except for the main wolf guy. And I think it was after he was like, no, yeah, some of them are still around. Okay, she only killed like half of them, who knows. Wolf guy continues to insult him and does not want to accept reality. I am a high level and you suck. MC-kun beats more of them up and then is like, cry harder, wolf guy. Oh yeah, he beats up the wolf guy too, and who cares? Wolf guy summons his ice wolf familiar, and now he's level 500. I think it's something like, I might be wrong, because maybe it's that the wolf familiar was level 500, but my understanding was that because he summoned the wolf familiar, or the ice wolf familiar, their powers combined. So he's like, look at my level 500 ass now. Oh well, fuck you and die, wolf ice familiar, and I got a cooler wolf ice familiar that's 900. And then I realized, oh wait, that's what MC-kun is saying. But then I realized, oh no, it actually was 9,000. The powers combined between MC-kun's ice wolf familiar, which is larger and sparklier even, is 9,000 power. But yours is only 500 power, so I can beat you up. Oh yeah, now he's level 9999999. Wow, just like the title. Now the wolf becomes pathetic and begs for MC-kun to forgive him. His team is like, but what the fuck, Aniki? You're like the strongest. What are you doing? Although I think they're also against giving up their country, because there was some mention that almost seemed like he was going to take over either the country or the village they lived in. But because all of the remaining allies that the wolf guy had kept going against MC-kun, then they really do murder them all. And at that point, wolf guy is the only person alive, and he pees on himself, and they focus in on the pee streaming out over the ground. Wolf guy gives him info on some sort of cool item, I think to like bargain his way out of this situation. Then he transports the wolf guy, pee and all, to his country, as in MC Kun's castle country thing. Then when he's in his main what's that called, basically technically it's his throne room, but it's so big, and whenever you see it, there's just a bunch of random high powered warriors and hero, who knows, people that are just hanging around in a long line until his throne. So that's where the wolf guy is right now. He at that point has everyone show their level, because there's a way that you can be like, level show, and then your level shows up on you. My level right now is probably minus 200. Actually, it's minus 9999999 is probably what's happening right now. But when they show their level, they all have a lot of level. There's like 7777. I think the lowest is like 900 or 1000, which I think was what the wolf guy was before he summoned his familiar. Then the wolf guy dies inside, because the whole time, every time there's a new reveal, the wolf guy's like, ah, wah, making all these weird faces. When they were eventually focusing on where his throne is at the end of this big room, right? Like I mentioned, I wrote his throne room is kind of gay. I mean, keep in mind, I'm also gay and queer, okay? I'm not, but basically, because when you zoom in, there's these huge gold statues, one on each side of him by the throne, of these almost naked men with like big muscles, like just showing, I don't know, it was really weird. Like, so you just have huge statues of sexy men in their underwear by your throne. Hey, that's cool, you know, maybe he's bi. Anyway, so wolf guy breaks. His mind is gone, and he says, I'm in a sea of monsters, and MC Kun, you are a god. Going back to Kami Arabi again. Ridiculous idiots thinking that they're God. Other people being like, yeah, you're a god, you're so amazing. Blah, 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 blah. Episode 4. MC Kun decides to go home. I was confused at first. It seemed like he was going to his home village for the first time, which seems odd considering how long has passed. But then it seems clear that this is a flashback to the first time he went home. So early on, after he got at least the maid and I think the swords woman, there's like 2 people in the flashback. But when he went there, that's when he realizes that his entire village was burned down and everyone's dead. His whole family is gone. His mom, his dad, his older brother, even his younger sister, even his neighbor, even that creepy guy that lived on the corner of whatever, even that other person, even that other little kid, even all the houses, they're all dead. So he makes a little graveyard for them. It's actually really shitty. It looks terrible. Like, damn, dude, you have all the money and power in the world instantly, but the graveyard you made for your entire village and all your family and friends are little mounds of dirt with crappy crosses on them. Also, why are there crosses? Is this a Christian world? Was I not aware? I mean, yeah, there was a devil guy, but I meant more like a demon guy. Assassin girl is mad at the golden armor guy for speaking too casually to Light, because basically, gotta explain this for all the English speakers. So if you don't know, some languages, not English, but other languages have like levels of politeness. Depending on like the hierarchy and the position of the person you're speaking to, you have to change how you're talking to them. Spanish has this as well. And if you're showing the person respect, you have to speak to them with respectful language, and even the way that you conjugate things and the grammar actually changes. It, like in Spanish, it kind of sounds like you're talking more indirectly about everything. That's like one of the ways that you show respect. And then of course you have to conjugate things in a way that show that the person you're talking to has more power than you. This is also something you can do to be like overly polite. That's what I tend to do in Spanish, because sometimes I'm in situations where really I would be the one at the higher hierarchy, but I feel like, especially with someone I don't know, I feel like it's more polite to start polite, if that makes sense. Like to start with a polite language, and then if they're really low on the hierarchy, I'll ask them pretty quickly, hey, is it okay for me to speak to you casually? You know what I'm saying? I do have a doctorate degree. So I'm just saying. So because of that, I tend to be on the higher side, but especially if I meet someone who is older than me, their hierarchy is higher because they're older. So I tend to speak to them respectfully, even though I don't need to, but it's to show, It's like a way that you can kind of like show humility and show respect, and that's just how I prefer to be in the world. So Japanese is similar, where depending on how much you respect someone and the hierarchy stuff is how you speak to them, you know, like the way that the language you use at home with like either a partner or your family is different than how you talk to a boss. And it's past what you're thinking that is in English. It's really not the same. That's a little lesson for you today. So the thing that's happening is that the golden armor guy, he is speaking to MC-kun kind of like normal, like more neutral, but because of the difference in their power and positions, he shouldn't be. So the assassin girl, that's why she's getting mad at him, because it's like you're speaking to him way too casually, and she speaks to him more like you'd speak to a lord, which is what he basically is. All right, and then there's this thing where you can see that all the girls love him, because of course they do. I don't even remember if it's like all the girls in the village or all the girls in the castle, both, I guess. He's like, I'm gonna search the world over for revenge, because it seemed like he thinks that Drago the dragon, if you remember, from his original party, his team, he thinks that he's the one who burned up his village. I guess because everything got burned to a crisp and he's a dragon that maybe can use fire magic. If he cannot use fire magic, then I don't know, maybe he's just being racist right now, who knows. So before they head out to whatever mission he's trying to do, he takes out this little mask and he puts it on his face and he's like, oh my fucking god, with my mask on, I have a new name. Guess what his name is? And this is because he's like, I'm gonna be so incognito, no one's gonna know it's me. So when we go to this next place, you gotta call me by my new name. What's the new name? Steven? Miyakun? Truck-kun? MC-kun? No. Guess what it is? It's dark. I'm dark now, cause I'm going out for revenge, and I got this little black mask on my face, so I'm not light anymore. Okay, dude, it's a secret. Don't tell anyone where we're going. You gotta use my new name, okay? And they're like, okay, Dark-sama. Shut the fuck up, man. Oh no, Gold talks all ancient and in samurai-ish, which is a pain for me to understand. Waga hai indeed. They save some random humans that have a horse carriage and they get a ride. And then it's weird because Gold, the Gold Knight, his animation keeps switching between 2D and 3D for no reason at all. And in fact, the horse drawn carriage, yeah, the horse is also going from 2D to 3D all the time. So sometimes it'll be flat and sometimes it'll be this crappy 3D looking pretend 2D horse, and the night guy is the same. I don't know why they're doing that. Ninja Girl is mad that the guild rated them as F instead of S. Oh, that's right, because when they get the ride into the city, they instantly go to the guild, and the reason they rated them as F is because, well, they're a new party, so they have to start at F.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then she's like super offended because she knows that they're all super powerful, although she's mostly offended because of MC-kun, and he's like, no, it's fine, we'll be F. Then they go to an inn and they realize that the people they saved that gave him a ride is the same family. When they're up in the room, I still don't know what the hell happened. He, for some reason, gets really pissed at the ninja girl. I don't know if it's that she said something that he considered to be wrong, but it was creepy because it was like a total 180. He went from being like pleasant and happy to being like abusive to her. Like he was yelling, and I mean, okay, so she was so scared of him that she started trembling and crying and fell to the ground. What the fuck? It was, at least a little bit I understood. It's like, I don't know that he was even mad about anything serious. Even if he was, that's no excuse for him to treat her like that, you know? So that's kind of what the relationship looks like. And then the Gold Knight guy is just kind of like there, you know? It seems very clear that one of the reasons the Gold guy gets away with talking to him casually is because he's a man. At least that's my impression. Because the way that he treats her and him is totally different, and she is way more like doting upon him and trying to be overly respectful, but he doesn't seem to care. It was really disgusting. Especially because then right after that, she's terrified, and her solution to fix this problem is to grovel and then show him her dedication by kissing his foot. Then he's satisfied, and then he's not mad anymore. What the fuck is happening, y'all? And again, the Gold guy's just there like, whatever, this is a normal thing. Okay, next day. God. They're trying to get in somewhere. I didn't understand at first, but I eventually figured out that they were trying to get into some sort of dungeon, and there was a really long line to get in. I'm not entirely sure why there was a long line to get into this dungeon. Maybe it had cool stuff. When they're in the line, some guys try to cut in line, and he's like, hey, get the fuck out of line. You can't cut line. You can see it's the two elf guys from the party Even though they try to cover their face, it's like super obvious. Everyone in line is like, yeah, you're so cool. You told those people cutting in line to get the fuck out of here. The other ones didn't want to say anything because either they knew them or they knew they were too strong. The other people were scared of the elf guys. So they get into the They get into the dungeon. And the elf guys are ranting about their levels and stupid shit about how humans are trash and this and that. They're also wanting to up their levels, so they're just trying to kill stuff in the dungeon. The MC-kun and his party, they see some kids. So it was like a kid party, right? They had actually seen them in line, and I believe the kids were the ones that the elves cut in front of. So they see the kids in the dungeon and decide, oh, we should help them because they're fighting against some enemy that is difficult for them as a new team, but would be really easy for MC-kun and his team. But right when they're going to help the kids with this random enemy, MC-kun's like, oh, I sense something in the forest. And they're like, oh, what could it be? Our true enemy. Our true enemy is coming. You see this like pack of wolves coming out. It's like, no, not them. And then it's a bug. Which I hate. It's a huge bug enemy coming out of the forest. That was my cat. The end. So we left on a cliffhanger, okay? Sorry, not sorry. Doesn't even matter. I don't know. I'm guessing in the next episode, we will see more of the kid party, at least to resolve the battle, and I'm guessing he'll do something with the elf guys. It kind of seems like the season is going to be focusing on him taking his revenge or whatever on different people in the party. What are my thoughts about this show? It's not good. The animation isn't the worst I've seen. There's nothing that stood out to me in the animation that was terrible, at least not yet. It's really misogynistic. I feel so uncomfortable with the mood swings of the main character. I think because I know people like that exist, and I've definitely had people like that in my life. So it just feels like putting an abusive character as a main character, but like as a hero. You know what I'm saying? I think I'd feel differently if the main character really was a nice guy. Not nice guy TM, like an actual nice guy. But it kind of more seems like, oh, like a self-insert of the author where he's having like a power fantasy, and part of that is to abuse and treat everyone poorly, but be told that he's the best in the world. It's also the weird like going back and forth between seeming to be genuinely scared of things because of stuff that happened in the past, and then recovering by being a complete asshole. Also, I don't know what message it sends in that at the beginning of the show, he is treated really poorly by his party, and he is betrayed by them, right? I mean, it's a bunch of non-humans who are all grown-ass adults who trick him by pretending to be nice, and he's naive enough to fall for it. It's not his fault. I'm just saying, I think him being naive is one of the reasons he fell for it, unfortunately. And then them like killing him and laughing at him. Like, that's pretty messed up. And that does not excuse how he's acting. I wonder if I'd feel different if he was only being terrible to the people who harmed him. But even then, he's going so far and beyond to like torment, at least with the wolf guy, right? To torment the guy and literally terrify him. That to me, that seems so past the point of revenge. Like, I almost kind of wish he would have just killed him and got it over with. I kind of find it worse that he's taking glee and joy from torturing this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he seems sadistic is how he's coming across. And not only that, he's not just treating other people like crap. He treats the people under him like crap. That scene with the ninja girl, like, really freaked me out. And the way he talks to everyone else is not great either. It kind of seems like, I'll be nice to you and I won't kill you as long as you tell me how great I am and do everything I say. But if you ever do anything I don't like or do anything I didn't tell you to, I might kill you. See what I'm saying? Especially the weird thing of him walking through the town where they live and everyone having to be like, oh my god, you're so amazing, you're so wonderful. It reminds me of, I think the episode was called The Monster from Twilight Zone, where basically you have this little boy in a town that has unlimited power, and he uses that to make everyone happy, in quotes. Everyone do what he wants with a smile on his face. They're not allowed to do anything he doesn't want them to do, and they are terrified of him because anytime anyone steps out of line even slightly, or even if he thinks that they did, he turns them into some type of horrifying creature that is like, the main one in the episode is a guy where his head is put on top of like a jack-in-the-box. So you just see this headless guy popping out of a jack-in-the-box, but they say that he's still alive. So it's like horrifying. So the whole episode is just you seeing this kid be treated wonderfully, because if they don't do that, they will at best die, but probably not, because he also likes torturing them. So this series reminds me of that, except that the Twilight Zone was literally supposed to make you uncomfortable, and it usually would try to at least make you think about stuff or teach you something. This is kind of like if that kid in the Twilight Zone episode wrote his own light novel, became a weeb. All right, y'all, that's about it. If you have any recs for terrible anime, you can always put them down in the comments. As of right now, at least when I'm filming this, I don't know what my next one will be. I do have a few like ideas, including the one that I had originally thought about doing, but I haven't decided anything. So if there's any terrible anime you can think of, put it down there. And I mean actual terrible anime, not an anime that's actually good that you didn't like. That's not the same thing. I mean an anime that's like, why was this made? Okay, bye everybody. Bye-bye. Bum, 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 bum.